Britpop. We're not Britpop. We're universal rock. That's what we are. We're not Britpop. The media can take the Britpop and stick it as far up the back entry of the country house as they can take it. We're a universal rock band. We're not Britpop.
Are you talking to any of the...
Because we're Irish for a start.
You're talking to any of the other entries tonight and you...
Why do you do it to yourselves, Manchester City supporters? You're a long-suffering crowd, aren't you?
You just get born with it, don't you? I mean, all my cousins and that, because we're all Irish, you know what I mean? So they're all United fans, and for some bizarre psychedelic reason, my dad decided to take us to Main Road first, so cheers, Dad.
Do you care how he plays for England in the Euros this summer? I'm not an England fan, I'm Irish. Good night.
How Irish do you reckon you are?
I'm half. Because I was born and raised in Manchester, but my mother
from Charlestown.
From Charlestown in County Mayo.
Yeah, and your dad
my dad
Duleek.
from Duleek in Meath. So that makes me exactly half. Although which half it is?
Yeah, indeed.
No.
So you were back in Charlestown a lot, though, were you not?
We used to go when we used to have 6 weeks holidays in England for the school summer. My mum used to religiously drag us by the ear all across the Irish Sea for 6 weeks. Because we'd never seen the likes of nettles and fields and stacks of hay and all that, and she was determined to give us a bit of Irish culture, because we were used to like concrete and flats and stuff, and it was a bit of a culture shock for about the first 4 or 5 years, but we just grew to love it, you know. I mean, I still do to this day. And the great thing the other day was when we came in for the airport, is you know that smell that's in the air when the turf's burning. It's like as soon as you smell that, it's like almost brings a tear to your eye. You know, it just reminds you of your childhood.
And
well, does me anyway.
And when were you last down there, Charlestown?
I was last down in Charlestown. Wasn't that long ago? I think it was only about a year and a half ago. Yeah, I was just down driving around it now. So.
Well, anyway, welcome back.
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
You do a very special relationship with Ireland, clearly. I mean.
Well, yeah, of course. Both my parents are Irish, so we virtually grew up here in the 60s and 70s. Yeah.
And where did you go, and what were you doing?
Usually to my mum's or my grandma's place in Charlestown in Mayo.
Yeah.
Doing that, just running around the fields, throwing stuff at cows.
Yeah.
Well, you see, we get that in Manchester because we don't get cows, so if you see one, you just throw stuff at them.
So that was your summer holidays?
I don't do it anymore, by the way.
And did you feel Irish growing up, Noel, or was it very...
Well, yeah, I mean, we come from a huge family, so they all lived very, or still do live, very close together in Manchester, within kind of 2 miles of each other.
Yeah.
And I've got, you know, cousins that I was still meeting for the first time the other night in Manchester. There's so many of them, and yeah, I had an Irish upbringing.
And you said your mum's part was Mayo, and your dad's side, were they also?
Was Meath in Duleek, which we passed on the way into town last night. Yeah.
And even though you're in the UK all the time.
Those summer holidays in Ireland are great. I was talking to a journalist about it before.
Yeah.
Because she's like one of 11, and she's got 6 sisters. And they all had, you know, kids, and they all went to my poor grandma's, all for the 6-week holidays. My grandma wasn't too pleased about.
No.
It was like a little youth club there. There was loads of kids there. We had a great time, you know. And the summers in the 70s seemed to be proper summers then. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, they were great. They were great times. Yeah.
Yeah, and a totally different world from Manchester, where you're growing up. I suppose that contrast must have been very pronounced.
Well, yeah, where we grew up, it's like Council Estate, the big city, and then you go to the west side of Ireland and you're in the country, you know, and there's like, it's, you know, if you could, where my gran used to live, the road would come round the bend. If you heard a car, everybody would go out to see what it was. You know,
the excitement.
Yeah, and you know, and the big day of the week was when she'd go into town to get her pension.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone would traipse in with her, you know, wait till she got a little bit pissed, and then you could tap her up for some money.
So you learned early how to hustle.
OK, take me back to Burnage and the household you lived in, Peggy and Thomas. Where in Ireland were they from?
My mum is from a place called Charlestown in County Mayo. My dad is from a little place called Duleek in County Meath. I was born in an area of Manchester called Longsight, in a house, as I remember, was on the top of a sloping little alleyway with proper cobblestones, and it was a 2 up, 2 down outside toilet.
working class, grim northern reality, yeah.
Was it a very Irishy house?
Yes, yeah, there was shillelaghs everywhere. But we always spent our summer holidays and any school holidays in County Mayo.
Irish nights in St Kent's, Charlton Irish Club, that kind of...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. St Kent's, yeah. How do you know about that?
I did my stint in Manchester as well, you know.
Oh, yeah, St Kent's.
You've forgotten,
I used to play for their football team, I think.
And was there Irish music going on in the house?
Oh yeah, my dad was a DJ. He was a country, and he'd play all the Irish social clubs, a country and western DJ.
Speaking about your father, it has been written much about his alcoholism and his violence, and mother doing a skip in the end, and all of that. You seem to play that down as if it was sort of average for the area and the time.
Well, I don't think he was an alcoholic. He just doesn't. I just think he was a bit of a rubbish husband. But I've got to say, all my friends who are my age, all their families are split up. So it was kind of par for the course. The 70s was a tough time in Manchester. Not only for working class people, but for Irish people, you know, with the troubles that were being brought over there and stuff like that. And it was a tough time. You know, there wasn't a lot of work and there wasn't a lot of money. But I don't look back on any of that time with any regret or sadness. It kind of makes you what you are. My dad was a DJ who worked in the Irish social club, so he was playing country and western music.
Sort of the big sort of show band stuff, like Big Tom and the Mainlanders.
But there was my aunties and my mum and dad used to go out dancing to the Irish social clubs in Manchester, and we used to go along with them sometimes on a Sunday afternoon to sit there in these Irish social clubs drinking lemonade and eating crisps. And that's where my first experience of live music come from, would be like 4 or 5 Irish guys, you know, playing Catch Me If You Can, you know, on the stage.
What, they'll Catch Me If You Can?
My name is Dan, so I'm your man, But then there's Irish drinking. And what people might not realise is that the Irish have been blessed with 2 livers. And we don't get the fear. No. We do get a healthy bit of Catholic guilt from time to time, but we don't get the fear. And... you know, we can go at it pretty hard, yeah.
Good for us.
Good for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it bother you when people... Does your mother... Are you Gallagher? Like...
Well, it's Gallagher.
Yeah.
But as we were Mancunians, Mancunians always pronounce the hard G.
Hard G, okay.
Well, this is complicated. I'm not English, because if both your parents and both sets of grandparents and both sets of great-grandparents are Irish, I'm not sure you could claim to be English. But I'm not Irish either, because I wasn't born in Ireland and I never lived there. I guess first and foremost I'm a Mancunian. And then after that, I would say I'm actually British. And then after that, I would say I'm Irish. Well, this is complicated.
Whatever. No, do you consider yourself Irish? Would you say you're an Irish?
County Mayo.
Yeah, no, it's County Mayo, but would you consider yourself as an Irish man?
I consider myself to be Noel Gallagher. Oh, that's right. I mean, my parents are Irish. I was born in England. I consider myself equally Irish English. I am British, I suppose.
If you were to win,
give us a deal.
And like, had you listened to the Smiths in the mid-80s in terms of Manchester?
Oh, my mate Johnny's a good mate of mine. I've got one of his guitars, by the way, actually.
Really? Johnny Marr? He's a good mate.
Somebody said to us tonight, you're the greatest Irish band since the Smiths.
Really? That's fair enough. Yeah, I suppose we better clear up this bit, Noel. I mean, as in Noel Gallagher. Where's it from? Mayo or somewhere?
Mayo. So his parents. All our parents are Irish.
From Mayo as well.
The Bonehead family.
Bonehead's a big Irish name. Head. Never heard of the Head.
Yeah, we never heard of Old Head.
And where in Mayo and who in Mayo? Is it Granny's or
Swinford, man?
Oh, Swinford,
Charlestown, man, which is just the next one up the road. Charlestown.
And who are we talking about here? Are we talking about grandparents?
No, my parents.
Oh, parents.
Parents,
yeah.
Right.
Parents from Charlestown. Granny still lives there, Sunner Bridge. My uncle lives in a place called Modo, got his own mushroom growing business. Sweeney's Mushrooms. You'd probably see him in Sainsbury's.
Less said about that, the better.
Absolutely. What kind of mushrooms are we talking about?
I'm not winding it up.
Sounds like a Gallagher to me.
Yeah, mushrooms and all that, yeah.
Very good. So I presume, have you been here much before? Or?
I was over 2 months ago, see me grow.
I've not been since I was about sort of 16, so that's a long time ago, because I'm the old man of the band.
You're the old man of the band. Bonehead is the old man
I'm
of the
hoping
band.
to go back at Christmas, because my parents went back last year.
Go back home, as they say.
They've gone back home. They've gone to Foxford, so I'm going to go at Christmas, hopefully, for a week.
Right.
And chill out, as you do.
All right, well, listen, getting back to Manchester.